Hello, thank you for joining me. I'm just on the edge of the picturesque town of Pitlochry in Scotland. In today's video, we're going to go down a public footpath which runs through the middle of a hydroelectric power station. Now, as you may know from my previous videos, I like footpaths that do unusual things, go for unusual places. Just passing over a little stream here. This stream flows down from the hills out into the River Tummel. Now, we're going to cross the River Tummel first over this very exciting looking suspension bridge, which will give us our first glimpse of the power station, which is on the River Tummel. We're going to walk up to the power station. It's got a fish ladder as well, so that's quite exciting. So if we get to this suspension bridge, there used to be a ferry across, and used to put a coin in St Bride's Well to ensure a safe crossing. But then the bridge opened in 1913, this suspension bridge, and the ferry ceased to run. So here we are, see the tower at one end, and the suspensions themselves go into the ground, actually go across this stream. So Killy Cranky paths, that's a video for another day. Town centre, and then the Riverside path goes that way. So let's go over here. So as we go under the first tower, our view of the river will open out. Yeah, it's going to get a little bit bouncy because as other people cross, bounces a bit. That's the power station, that building there, that's the big turbine hall. We're going to get closer to that and we'll see the dams, because you can actually walk right across it, which is why I think it was, it's just very exciting, because often you see things like hydroelectric power stations but you can't normally get so close to them, so that's why it's a good thing and a very exciting thing we can do that. So you can see it now in the evening sun, the power station. That's one of the dams. There's actually two of those dams. It'll all become clearer when we get there. I think by the time we come off the bridge, I don't know if you'll see the other dam. You might just be able to see now the central tower between the two dams. Let's have another look looking downstream. You see a road bridge down there. So the town itself of Pitlochry is up over there. We're not far from the town centre, but it feels like we're right out in the countryside. So we're just coming off the bridge now. Suddenly it gets a lot less bouncy as we come off the suspension bridge. We walk along here, we'll go past the theatre, and then we'll continue on towards where we'll find the power station. So we get to the end of this. Well, this was quite an exciting footpath, but what we're going to see is exciting and unusual. So we just go down this nice little road. Little restaurant there, it says it's a pub as well. I don't know if it's open at the moment, but you know, it could be a nice place to go and stop for a drink. This is really nice. Look at this. Nice wee cottages. Very, very charming. Nice little front gardens. And if you look across over there, you can just see the suspension bridge. Just there, there's the suspension bridge we walked across. So yeah, this is an inn and it's a restaurant. So I'm not going to go in there now. We'll keep walking alongside upstream along the River Tummel until we get to the power station. So the power station, well firstly there's the theatre, interesting looking building. So the power station, it was there was always an idea to provide hydroelectric power to Scotland. Scotland is very big these days on hydroelectric power and wind. I don't think there's any coal-fired power stations. Regarding nuclear power stations, of all the 4 sites, only one of them still in operation, Torness. Have a look at the link on screen now. You see it made an appearance in one of my videos. When we went to look at Reston, the newest railway station in Scotland, we went past Torness nuclear power station, which you can see from the East Coast Main Line. Hunterston B closed earlier this year. That was the other nuclear power station. There was also Hunterston A, that closed a long time before. 2 were next to each other. There was also Chapel Cross and Doon Ray. Those nuclear power stations are no longer generating. There's the theatre again. So, back to what we're talking about. Hydroelectric power stations. Quite often when you go on trains into the Highlands of Scotland, you will see them. You'll see one at Loch Sloy if you go up on the West Highland Railway, which was actually designed by the same architect, Harold Tarbolton, who designed this one. And although he didn't actually ever live, unfortunately, to see this one completed. You'll also see them if you go on the Carl line. You'll see them another place, not by the same architect, where there's a big hydroelectric power station, slightly different one to this one, and the one at Loch Sloy. They have these huge surge shafts which water flows down from the mountain. Sometimes it's rumoured that whiskey flows down inside those surge shafts, but I think it is just water. So So there's a big one in Fort William that actually provides power for the smelters, the aluminium smelters, but this one is a power station for, I understand it's probably just a domestic one. I can't really see much, but if these trees weren't here, we'd get a really good view. We're getting close now. There's two exciting things really. The path is exciting. What's also quite exciting is that, and very interesting, is it's the salmon. Most rivers in Scotland, especially up here, are very rich with salmon. Now, salmon swim up and down the rivers. You put something like this in the way, which we'll get a good view of in a moment, it's a bit of a problem for salmon because they can jump, but they can't quite jump 40 odd feet high. So I'll show you what they've done. It's not a problem for the salmon. It's not a dead end for the salmon here. Here we are, look, Pitlochry Power Station we're just coming up to. Pitlochry Power Station, renewable energy. So I find power stations fascinating. I've just always found them interesting, especially ones that have turbines, big turbines. I'm not so interested in wind power stations or wind farms. I don't find them quite as exciting, but just look at that. And the exciting thing is we can walk right through it. That's what's really good about this one. We can't go up here, it says Pitlochry Dam. The footpath goes up there. So going back to the salmon, how does a salmon who's swimming upstream get up there? Well, see this? These pools, there's 32 of them. That is a fish ladder. They can jump. If we're very lucky, we might even see one jump. I don't know if we will. They jump up and make their way up these 32 pools to get them so they can carry on upstream. I believe there's other hydroelectric power stations further up the River Tummel. This is the one furthest downstream. So it'd be just great now if a salmon could come and jump to demonstrate it. But I think you know what I mean. So they go jump, jump, jump all the way up there. We're going to, of course, walk alongside. These should not be swam in by humans. It's very dangerous. Look how the water's swirling around. You could easily, if you were to try and swim in there, you could get sucked under and you could drown. So if you come here, don't try swimming here. And there's the, now we can see the power station. So you see the River Tummel and we can see the fish ladder. It does say strong undercurrents, danger of drowning. So that's why it's not advisable to swim. So as we come up here, it's getting more and more exciting. You can see that this one here, this is a bigger pool. Is for the salmon to rest. So if the salmon got to here, they could rest here because it's probably, you know, they might be a big fish, but they're quite small in terms of animals. So imagine if you're an animal and you've got to jump. I think they're 1 foot and 6 inches each. So if you've got to keep jumping that's like us jumping, you know, a lot. It's like, I don't know, sort of me jumping up to about where that ivy is. I don't think I could do it. So it's amazing to think what the nature can do, that they can do this. They jump. I mean, they would obviously naturally jump up waterfalls. There's natural waterfalls in places that the salmon would jump up, but here they jump up this concrete waterfall. So I believe they started constructing it in the 40s and it was finished in 1951. I think the power station started generating either 1950 or 51, early 50s anyway. So that's the turbine hall. There's another bridge here over the fish ladder, which might give us an opportunity, if we can go onto it, to have a look down and see what we've been seeing. So, oh yeah, we can't go through there, we can go to this gate. So you may just be able to see that the ladder goes up there under the road and then up here, and then there's another resting pool there which we're about to go past. There's the power station. So this is where it's going to get really exciting, because in a moment we're actually going to walk right through it. You know, it's very unusual. I've not come across a footpath like this. Imagine if there was a footpath for a nuclear power station. That'd be amazing if there was. I'd love to walk through it. So that is another resting pool for the fish. And I'm walking alongside the turbine hall. The camera's probably not picking it out. I can see there's a big gantry that moves backwards and forwards for servicing the turbines. I think the turbines are horizontal, so they spin. So in there, they're spinning round like that as the water flows through. So see this bridge? We're going to be on that in a moment, which will take us around and through the power station. So as we get to the dam, we're now at the dam itself. The water is behind that, so we'll see the lock when we get up to the top of all these steps, and then we'll be up high. So the salmon fish ladder has come all the way up there, continues around the corner. Somewhere there must be, I can't quite see where, but they must just be able to swim into the lock at that point. So let's go up here. It might be more clearer when we get up to the top. So it says public access to fish ladder and dam. It's probably a bit late now. Here, look at that. That is a great view over the lock. You can come and visit this. There is a visitor centre. It's a bit late for me to do that. It's nearly 6 o'clock in the evening. So I think if I was to come another time, maybe I'll do it one day. You go through there. There was a viewing point where you could actually see into the fish ladder, which I understand that closed in 2019. So as we come up here, this is really exciting, this path, that we're going to walk right round here into the power station in there. You know, and oh, here we get a fantastic view of everything we've seen in this video so far. Look, see the fish ladder going around and down into the river. Right down there is the suspension bridge, and then here, this is the big turbine hall. It's just like you've got really nice scenery and something I find as interesting as a power station in one place. That's what makes it so exciting, I find, for me. It's why I'm so interested in a place like this. So we get to here. You may be able to hear, just listen. That noise you can hear, that's probably the turbines generating electricity. So as we go into here, so we're actually now walking into the power station. Look in there, I don't know how well you can see. You can just see through to the floor. That's the top of one of the turbines. So there's a few of them in there, so they are spinning round as the water goes through. Can we see any more through this window? Have a look. You can see a turbine in there. It's a bit annoying, it's meshes here, but it's really quite fascinating. I've never ever got this close to a power station. The other thing I find exciting about Brutalist buildings is this wooden effect. And that's because when they cast this, they cast it in wooden shuttering. They've taken the shuttering away and the wooden effect is still there. If you have a look here, there's a diagram. So that's the power station. We must be up here somewhere. The water flows down from the dam through, spins those turbines and out and continues downstream. Let's see if we can have another look. Yeah, so there you go, there's one of the turbines. So I think there's two turbines in there. Possibly 3, can't quite see it. So we now come to here, go up these steps. This should take us out onto the top of the dam, so we should get some very good views when we get up here. So as we come up here, look at that, that's the lock, and wow, now that is a fantastic view. Looking all the way back down to the suspension bridge where we started. This is just such a nice walk. I really like footpaths that do unusual things. I've never seen a footpath that goes through a power station like that before. There is a visitor centre which isn't currently open, but look, that's the cafe of the visitor centre. So that's a great view. So this is the tower now between the two dams. I don't know if we look over, we might be able to see the dams. Don't drop the camera in. Right, can you see that? So the dam itself, I think, well, they can rotate like that, and they're beneath us. Let's see what's on this side. What have we got? Right, as I said, I do it this way. I really obviously do not want to drop my camera, but have a look at that. So that's the top of the dam. So it's a bit like a Thames barrier. Hope, tilts to let the water through. That's looking up the lock up towards the Highlands. We're going to continue along here now. Get a great view behind us. I'm going to go off into Pitlochry, have a look around there. My plan is to do another video. I'd like to walk up the path to Killycranky. That'll be another video, so do look out for that one. And this one today was just a little evening visit. I arrived here today, and my plan is to explore a bit more of Pitlochry while we're here. So we're on like another. Oh yeah, here we are. This is a good place to view. You can see the dam now. Look at that. And that's the bridge we've just come over. That's the central tower. So it's all looking clear now. And we're going to go down here, and then we'll be back on land on the other side. So as you get to here, look at the hills up there, shrouded in clouds, and we're now coming off the dam. You can just see the fish ladder over there. So I hope you enjoyed this video from one of the more unusual public footpaths, pretty most unusual footpath I've ever been along in Scotland. I tell you what, let's go up here. We're going to go up there and we'll get a good view over where we've just been. So we should see the whole power station now from up here. So we're kind of underneath the visitor centre now. Wow, look at that. So I'm sure this visitor centre is worth a visit. And that, now I can show you the dams. Look, there they are. Well, that's a perfect view to finish on. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. Please do feel free to like, subscribe and comment from Pitlochry Power Station. Goodbye.